Tite Kubo is a raging racist. He treats all of his black characters in a negligent fashion. Just look at their final transformations. I mean, why only the black characters? I'm gonna stop you right there, my brother. Tite Kubo, the mangaka of Bleach, has done an amazing job with his depiction of black or colored people in his series. I compare that to some of the other colored characters in Japanese illustrations, and well, you get call it blatant outright racism or a cultural disconnect from a group of people that is home to only 0.2% of black people. Kaname Tosen, former captain of the 9th Division, Lele Baro, the leader of the SS, Yorichi Shihoin, former leader of the Stealth Force, Baddest Gyaldem, and Ichigo's first teacher, Oetsu Nemiya, respected Squad Zero member, and in his own words, Tierra Halibel, número 3 of Aizen's Espada, Queen of Hueco Mundo, another bad Gyaldem. Those are just a few to mention as exemplary black characters. Not even just by design, but they actually hold or held significance in the plot. They weren't written and just narratively neglected. One is a part of the biggest betrayal in all of Bleach and one of the better subplots regarding two former friends. The other is quite literally top 5 strongest in the series and considered a god. I think these traits are what other mangakas should strive to make their black characters. No, I'm not saying every character should be black. Rather, if there does exist a black character in your story, make them matter. Gone should be tropes like the black guy in a scary movie dying first. But this is just my take on it. This sentiment, I feel, has really started to take off in the last 2 decades. Karon, the pyrokinetic tank from Atsushi Okubo's Fire Force. Although Shinra does call him an ape on some occasions, but I'll let that slide for now. Killer B and A from Masashi Kishimoto's Naruto Shippuden. Really anybody from the Hidden Cloud Village. Onyankapu from Hajime Isayama's Attack on Titan. And although he's green, we all know Akira Toriyama's Piccolo is one of us. Real shit. I think it's safe to say things are looking up for these characters. Just the act of not having them look like caricatures is a win in my eyes. However, controversy arises when fans of Bleach put to question the final transformations of some of their colored characters, asking why seemingly only the black characters receive non-human-like appearances upon transforming. Now, I personally disagree with the notion of malicious race implications, as we do have non-black characters who also adopt non-human characteristics upon transforming. Take Ichigo's Vaste Lorde form, Aizen's perfected Hyogoku form, Asnot's Quincy Volsterndick. Pause. You get the picture. The characters in question being Lele Baro, Tosen, and Zamaru. I think oftentimes people forget that Kubo is a poet. Wipe your knees, little bro. Anyways, oftentimes he leaves a double meaning behind pivotal moments. Like Ichigo, Kaname's resurrection discards his humanity. I love everything about this form because it's steeped in irony. For the first time, Tosen gains the ability to see. Since a child, he could never see the world, its beauty and ugliness physically, until he becomes this monster. Along with the power-up, his perception is supposedly extraordinary. He even insults his best friend Komamura's appearance, calling him ugly, all the while being oblivious to his own monstrous form. And in the end, an attack that he normally would have no problem dodging in his blind human form by an inferior combatant is what brings him down. He was more blind with eyes than without. Lele Baro's base design, I think it's perfect. The all-white uniform, the sleeveless shirt that reveals more of his black skin, X tatted on his left eye that represents his script, the X-axis, the bicorn worn mostly by naval officers and generals, most famously Napoleon, the furred pauldron from which he fires his spirit weapon, Diagram. All the above is quite fitting for the leader of the Royal Guards, the Quincy King's close military personnel. Now, to be completely honest, I'm not a fan of neither his first or second form, Volsterndick, Ziliel, since Lele is the first Quincy to ever be granted powers by Yuhabaha, who himself is the literal Quincy Messiah based off actual real-world Hebrew scripture. Hence, it's narratively fitting to give the Quincy King's first disciple the look of an archangel. Ziliel is Kubo's take on a biblically accurate angel. And as for Zamari's transformation, that nigga ugly. To call or even imply Tite Kubo as a racist or having racist undertones is probably the biggest reach. Honestly, I can't think of a more culturally amalgamated lore. Bleach is the only Japanese anime I can think of, and if you can think of more, write it down in the comments. Where you can have Hispanic characters referring to their uncles as abuelo, attacks like Lanza de la Rempago, Caja de Negacion, and Brujera. In the same breath, you got Germanic influences like Vandenreich, Schutzstaffel, Varuveto. Then of course you got classic Japanese influence like the entire Soul Society and their captains. Hell, look at the Soul Society's architecture. Kubo has crafted a narrative melting pot of cultures without making it feel forced. Give that man his flowers.